Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Banks back in the saddle. Tuesday. AI, how you feeling, bro?
Great.
We are officially live, bro.
Hello. Well, I don't hear anything in my headphones. Test. 1, 2. And that's why.
There you go.
1, 2, 3.
And Jay said, "Let there be sound."
And let there be sound.
All right, everybody, what's cracking? How we feeling, man?
Let's go.
Back in the saddle. Tuesday. We've got a lot going on. There's a lot happening, bro.
There is.
There's this entire scenario going on in the baseball card world, and no one's talking about it, bro. And I just I want to have a conversation with somebody, but nobody knows that this guy. There's this guy. First of all,
There's so much going on.
yeah. All right. I apologize. My mind's running crazy. Before I jump on the other side of the table, I want to give the introduction because he definitely deserves it. Jonathan Chia, he's a Cincinnati native, lives out in L.A. He has started some amazing things out there in Los Angeles. He's a philanthropist. You've got the Reality Center. You're a veteran as well. So you've in this. It blows my mind all the things that you've done at such a young age, man. Like you're here, this week because your son's 25th birthday, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, bro. Like none of this, like you're not old enough to have a 25-year-old son. You're like, no, I had him at 18. It's like, bro, that's and honestly, like I really feel like people that have kids at a young age, they find their fire early, right? Because it's like you've got to adapt or die at this point. Like it's not just you got another mouth to feed. But without any further ado, we've got Jonathan Chia here at Native on the Levee in Cincinnati, man. How you feeling, bro?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. The rain got us a little bit, clipped us.
It did,
on
man.
the way in.
It did.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of that coming, and then we went to go get the wine, and I've got the baggy pants on, bro. So I'm living the '90s right now with these soaked bottom jeans. But
Is the weather? You're in California, so the weather vastly different than here. The humidity here is probably crazy.
Yeah, zero humidity, between 72 and 82, sunny every day for the most part.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes some overcast if you're close to the beach.
What part of California are you in?
I'm in Toluca Lake. That's where our house is at.
Okay.
Sort of the suburbs, right over the Hollywood Hill there. And our office, the Reality Center, is in Santa Monica, right there on the beach on 2nd Street.
At Reality Center, what is it? What's the full name of it?
Yeah, so it's Reality Center.
Reality Center,
That's
straight
it.
up? Okay,
Yeah.
that's it?
And so it's a sensory wellness center and digital psychedelic lab.
Okay.
And we specialize in using light, sound, and vibration to take you on a deep journey into your inner consciousness.
Oh, really?
We call what we do entertainment.
Entertainment.
And so we developed
Okay.
a way to simulate a psychedelic experience and all the healing benefits that come with it.
Because I
but
see on your
without-
hat, it says reset, expand, elevate.
Yeah, so it stands
which is-
for
Yeah.
starting off resetting your central nervous system, right? And then expanding your consciousness and your awareness and elevating your life.
No kidding. So
Interesting.
where
That's
where
so
did you where did you come up or think of something like this? I mean, obviously, there's like to me there's definitely some sort of like grounding or things that like that we're not aware of yet that people talk about grounding where they'll put a hole in the bottom of their shoes and put a
You
little
just take your shoes
coil in
off.
there. Seriously, yeah,
Yeah.
but that's the thing, man. It's like people, people are just now figuring out about these things, and it kind of feels like you're on the forefront of it all.
Yeah, we have been for a little bit. Our team has always came from an event experiential background of production, whether it's through, massive EDM events or small little experimental events. We've been doing it for a long time. Making people feel the vibe, making people feel good, making people feel community, making people feel close to one another.
So can you explain how the process of Reality Center works? Because that's something where I wasn't aware of like what Reality Center is or what it actually does. I know you did a lot of work during the fires, which was incredible to see, man. It made it all the way here to Cincinnati. It wasn't just Facebook and Instagram where you're seeing these things. It's like, we saw news reports of the Reality Center and Jonathan Chia and you guys stepping up to the plate and helping when everyone else was kind of, had their hands up in the air like, I don't know what to do. Like, you guys just went to the ground and just said, this can be, a home base to bring things in, and to ship things out. So it's really impressive to see what you're doing, man. But to put all of that on the back of the Reality Center when you're trying to do something completely different, it just shows the character that you are. You know what I mean? When it's time to pivot, you're able to pivot when the community needs it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, coming from my background, being a combat veteran, spending 15 months in Iraq, and during that time we lost 16 of our guys, but when I got back, I lost both of my best friends within 1 year getting back with a needle in their arm to drug overdose.
Oh, man.
And a lot more in counting since we got back, way more than we lost in Iraq. And when I got out, just tried to go back to life. I became a director and a photographer, as you know. I had a lot of success doing that. I worked with everybody from Justin Bieber, Kim Kardashian, Kevin Hart, the President of the United States. But when a lot of my friends started taking their lives, a lot of my work started gravitating towards telling that story.
Yeah.
And that led me and my business partner, Tarun Raj, to an equestrian therapy program in Stillwell, Kansas, where they reunited me with about 10, 15 people from my unit that I haven't seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Then
that had to be like a mind fuck in its own, and not seeing these guys for that long, and the memories that you guys have aren't, some of them might be happy, you know what I mean, but like most of the memories that you guys have are probably like panic driven and like built on fear, you know what I mean?
But some of them are good things you need to be reminded of, because sometimes when you get out, you used to be Superman and you lost your ability to fly when you go back to normal life.
I've seen that, bro. Like that is such a good way to explain it too, man, because I had a friend of mine that came back from the war, and I saw him at Chi-Chi's in Florence, and he was just at the bar, and it was like, like his, like he looked dead inside. You know what I mean? Like he didn't know how to adapt like back to reality, and it's, you hear those stories and you go, man, like it can't be that hard. But it is, because you guys have, you spent the last 18 months like hunting people and making sure that you weren't killed. And all of a sudden you go back to having a beer at Chili's when everyone's out there with the family just hanging out, and you're just looking around going like, none of this seems familiar. You know what I mean? Like,
basically your body's been in fight or flight mode for the last couple years.
Yeah.
And it doesn't know how to reverse back from it. And so you're just in this heightened state forever, and brings your heart rate up, brings your mind racing. Your hyperarousal factor is up. You can never sleep. You never feel reset. You never get into your REM, which is your good sleep, where you get, your mind, body, and soul repairs much more exponentially.
Right.
You just never get to that place, so it feels like Groundhog's Day for them. And it sometimes dives deep down into depression.
Of course,
It's
yeah.
like the same day as every day, and they program us really well in the military, but they don't know how to deprogram us from some of those killers. And so that's where our technology steps in, where it allows us to meet them where they're at, and we use light, sound, and vibration. So imagine our place is like a digital speakeasy. You go in, the lights are really dark, it's lit by neon lights all over the place, and smells amazing. Our team is very inviting and professional. And we built this place for veterans and first responders and people in our community. And you lay on a vibrating surface. We put LED lights over your face. We put headphones on, and all the light, sound, and vibration is all synchronized to a modulation of a bunch of different frequencies. So for the first 10 minutes, we put you through a little challenge.
Okay.
It's the most intensive part of the experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's a frequency sound bath. So if you've never heard of binaural beats, it's a way for us to regulate your brain waves and your heart rate.
Is that like a 432 hertz? Like,
It's all different. It's all different kinds of frequencies, depending on what brainwave state you're trying to go into. So if you speed the frequencies up, it's gonna make your mind go fast. It'll bring your heart rate up, right?
Right.
Sometimes that can mean flow state. We're thinking of the next idea, but maybe it's it's anxiety,
Sure.
right? So it can be both ways, depending on how you channel it. Or it can slow it down, where it can take away your anxiety and stop your mind from over racing, or maybe put you to sleep and help with that side of things. So
Flow state. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Some of our technology is used, and you guys ever watch F1?
Yeah.
And so our technology is used in the championship Red Bull drivers' headphones. And the pit
That's
crew.
dope.
That's dope.
That's incredible, man. Actually, speaking of on subject but off subject, Jordan Blackmore.
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine from high school. He was, I think he was more towards your
Little older
your
than me.
class,
Just a
yeah.
little bit older.
But he was an all-state wrestler, and like before the games, like he would have Mozart or Beethoven in the headphones, and that's the shit that he would listen to before he actually wrestled, which was, you know. You just see him out there with the headphones on, and you're thinking, all right, he's probably listening to, Childish Gambino or somebody. But to hear that he's listening to Beethoven, is like, okay, like he's really like trying to get his mindset and you think outside the box. Like when, most people are, trying to get that they want to listen to DMX before they go into the fight. You know what I mean? But there's some clarity to the things when you realize that the different type of hertz, the different type of vibrations and sounds have different. It's almost like calming the body. You know what I mean? So like when I asked about the 432 hertz is because that's something that I've been doing at nighttime, which is listening to a soundtrack at 432 hertz, which is like the lower end frequency that's supposed to, relax you, give you good sleep, see aliens, whatever the case may be. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
It's different for everybody. We look at everybody as an instrument and a different kind of instrument, and everybody needs to be tuned a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And so, basically, you lay on our beds for about an hour, and it'll take you on a deep introspective journey in your consciousness. And just like psychedelics, it serves up what you need most of the time.
So with that thought, like where you're at, so when someone comes to you, is there a process that, do they know what they're looking for, or do you help them find what they're looking for, like by a series of questions or from in that kind of region?
The difference between what we do and a lot of modern mental health practices, they're looking for things that are wrong with you and trying to fix them. At the Reality Center, we're looking for what's right with you, what you love, and we're trying to help you amplify that in your life. And so when you do that, most of the time it calms down all the things that are going on in your life that some people might take it as a negative or stressors in your life.
So when you're when you ask, are these questions you're asking though, how does this,
No.
the process is it
No,
fast?
so-
Is there, how do you determine?
No,
Okay.
you come in, you fill out a medical waiver.
Okay.
When people book a session online, they're telling us their healing goals most of the time. Like,
Okay.
hey, I went through a divorce last month, or I lost my dad, or we treat lots of veterans. We know what the issues are with
Yeah,
veterans when
yeah.
they come in most of the time.
Yeah.
And what
Familiarity for sure.
And what we're trying to do is, and same thing what psychedelics is trying to do, is take you deep into your inner consciousness and allow you to visit some of the things that are causing dissonance or stress in your life, or whatever's going on internally. And a lot of people for instance, a lot of the females in the military are dealing with sexual trauma. They're not dealing with bullets and bombs. They're dealing with somebody in their chain of command making sexual advances towards them.
Yeah.
And treating them in not the correct manner. So it's different for everybody most of the time. But a lot of females, sexual trauma. A lot of men, trauma from their father, a lot.
Okay.
People that are dealing with grief. And so people that lost loved ones that they need to connect with.
Yeah.
They can, a lot of times, go visit them. And when they connect with them, and they feel that energy, a lot of times it lets them process or let go of some of the grief and maybe move into the more celebratory times and get some of those pictures out and talk about them. Maybe start a nonprofit or a fund or in their name.
Okay, so
Helps them move forward in life.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I mean, going that deep into someone's consciousness and triggering and I guess releasing pressure that's holding them back is, I mean, that's because I mean the layers that you're peeling back are, I mean, I'm sure some come from, I mean, they're from childhood to all the way to the where the trauma probably, I mean, bottlenecked, I guess you could say. So do you, after this experience, is there like a post?
Yeah, integration. It's
Process?
called integration.
Okay, integration. Okay.
For people that don't know, anytime you go through a psychedelic experience or something like what we do, there's always an integration time afterwards. And that's almost just as important as the experience itself. So you can process everything. Because as we talk about stuff, more things are going to come up. It's like a dream. We suspend you in this awake, lucid dream, really unplugging yourself from the matrix.
Yeah,
and
right.
You're starting to visit all these different things. A lot of people say it's like a movie reel of their life is playing, and they're just visiting and picking different moments out.
That's so fascinating.
Just like, if you guys ever heard of DMT, dimethyltryptamine, that's what really happens in that 15, 30 minutes. But a lot can happen in that time. But that's when the game, the shot clock does start afterwards. What you do with that information or those gifts or those downloads or those visits from people on the other side or your relatives that you need to apply into your new life.
Yeah.
And just like psychedelics, doing microdosing over long periods of time helps with the neuroplasticity of the brain. As you get older, you have less neuroplasticity, and so when you go through these psychedelic experiences, you have more neuroplasticity. It's like you're almost childlike again. Your brain's a little bit softer, and so everything you do from that moment on is going to start rewriting what your new future is going to be. You can reprogram your mind way better in those moments, in those weeks after those experiences.
And after people have gone like weeks afterwards, is there like follow-up process to see where they're at? Like, I mean, I'm sure some of these people you probably keep in contact with because you probably know them personally to a degree.
Yeah, when it comes down to like veterans and most people, like we're going through such a personal experience that we become. Let me explain it to you. You guys ever seen any survival shows like Survivor?
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
After bunch of strangers who don't like each other pretty much in the beginning, day 3, little Bobby falls off the ledge and he has to go home. He gets air carried out and everybody's in tears.
Yeah.
It's because they get thrown into this such high intensity situation together. They just become so close so fast. Mm-hmm. And so when you're going through this, experience at the reality center and we're talking about some deep shit, we become family really fast. So I almost feel obligated to give him my phone number. Like, bro, anytime anything comes up, I can always step outside for 15 minutes or 30 minutes and jump on the phone and talk through something.
And you've always been good with that too, man. Ever since I first met you, you've always been so quick to return a phone call or to answer a text, and not just hey, how are you? It's like you keep the conversation going. You're asking how are you? What's going on? How's the business? Like it's not just a check-in moment. Like with you, like there's context behind the reasons why you're texting me. It's not just, hey, I'm just checking in. Like you're checking on my mental state, which it's really cool to see, especially because like I said, like we haven't been friends for very long, but the second that I met you, it was like we've been boys forever. You know what I mean? And that's the type of mindset that like, or the aura that you present is like, I need to be around this guy.
And those are the only type of people that I want around me, that I keep around me, people that I want to be family and really close friends.
For sure.
That we check up on each other, especially in a mental health state.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just my duty at the end of the day. I have so many friends die and commit suicide, and I know how hard things get, especially being an entrepreneur. So my entrepreneur friends and buddies, whether if they own a restaurant or a clothing store, I'm checking up on them.
Right.
And when you tell me about things, whether it's some new printing thing or the hat vending machine, like I'm thinking of ideas. Like, why not think of creative ways to help your friends and help them thrive and help them make money, help bring people in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love it, man. So when you were doing this thing at the reality centers, before I get into this, I'm trying to visualize the room or the compartment, right? So, when
show you.
yeah, I was gonna say when we go to the reality center, is it are you in like one of those like bathtubs? Is it a full room? Oh wow, dude, that's a whole LED screen on the back wall.
Yeah. And so there's a group setup, there's a couple setup, and there's 2 individual rooms with our flagship device, which is called the Wave Table.
Mm-hmm.
And so imagine you're laying on a float tank with your clothes on.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're sitting on 2 15-inch subwoofers that are
Nice.
inches from your back.
Yeah.
Then after you lay down, all the lights go out. We put LED lights over your face, then headphones on. Then our reality manager is on the other side, neuro DJing your session. And so after all the lights go out, we're both on comms together, and your eyes closed. Your eyes are closed the entire time. Then we do a little guided meditation, little intention setting, little breath work so you know how to breathe.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a walk in the park. It's a pretty intense situation
Yeah, I'm sure.
that you're
Yeah.
in, that you're like, most people are like, oh shit, I'm not in Kansas anymore.
Right. Yeah.
It's just like ripping the DMT pin sort of in the beginning.
No kidding.
Almost even more intense than just eating a stem or a cap of some mushrooms.
No shit.
Yeah, because it's very visual and very body-like. Imagine you're sitting on 2 15-inch subwoofers. So have you ever,
Oh yeah.
you ever been in a car, a Civic hatchback with 2 15s?
Oh yeah.
So imagine that, but with more healing music.
Right.
How
That's-
much space do you actually have to move your arms? How much space do you have?
You're not moving.
You're not moving. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. That's intense for sure.
Yep.
That's
You're not
definitely
moving.
yeah.
You're just laying there.
You're just laying
with
there.
your eyes closed. So you don't have to do much.
You don't have to, okay.
You don't even have to talk to us.
That's
So
awesome.
it's very easy. You just have to breathe, focus on those intentions, hold them close to your heart. We help you build out. We're probably the world's most experts at people's happy places. We treated over 3,000 people at the Reality Center the last 3 years. And so we basically help you build wherever your happy place is. So when you leave and walk out that door, anytime you feel stress or anxiety or you need to want to sleep better or focus yourself, you can always just close your eyes and go back to that happy place. And
All
instantly
right.
it's going to lower your brain waves, lower your heart rate, which makes you calm.
Right.
And we have a saying in the military, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And so when you bring people down, bring their heart rate down, bring their brain waves down, then things do come up in your life that you have to battle through. You're like a ninja, right? It's the Matrix.
Yeah.
Right? When you're slowed down and those bullets are moving past you, you can deflect all that stuff a little bit easier. And that's the place we're trying to take people. So when you walk out and life happens, which it's always going to happen. Human beings, we're just meant to fix problems on a daily basis. And the more you learn that, the more less stressed your life will be, because you'll just be looking at them as just what you have to do,
Right.
instead of an issue or a problem.
I totally agree. That's pretty much how I take on life, every step of the way.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot in the store, which is like, don't cry over spilled milk. You know what I mean? Like, it's already spilled. Like, instead of crying that you spilled it, figure out a way to clean it up. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people that'll sit there and they'll cry when they drop the glass, and then there's some people that drop the glass and look for the first thing to be able to clean it up, man.
Yeah, I have a client came in the other day, young kid, and he said, obviously after I get everybody on my couch, the brown leather couch afterwards in our integration room, everybody's like, all right, that was fucking badass.
Yeah.
Because the difference between a lot of mental health experiences, I don't even say experiences, this clinical mental health stuff, it's not very fun. And so we're making mental health fun. People come in, they want to do it again. They want to bring their friends. They want to talk about it at dinner time. I ask therapists all the time, I said, how much do you think that people are talking about their experience with you over dinner? They said, not. Maybe talking shit.
Right.
Nothing against like therapists or anything like that. I'm all about talk therapy and having a therapist, but there's other things outside of that.
It's
besides
taboo, though,
taking a
like-
pill
like-
and
yeah.
nobody wants to, especially
Yeah.
let's just say men, for instance. Nobody wants to go in and talk to a therapist about their problems with their dad or maybe work or something like that. It's not most of the time the manly thing to do.
Right.
And now it's through COVID, everything's sort of changing. Right, everybody's opening up. A lot of celebrities talked about their mental health issues, their addiction issues. If you don't have somebody in your family that's gay, been addicted to something, most people have nowadays.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they know what the battle is, and so people are opening up a lot more, which is cool to me.
Yeah.
You know, more and more people are coming in our doors. As life gets tougher, more and more people look for mental health things. And people are smart these days. It's not just taking a pill or talking to a therapist. Pretty much what they throw at you every single time.
I mean, that's the best part of what you're doing, man, is the fact that you're able to, like, reset people's minds without having the medication or the pills, because, you know, the pills are crazy, bro. Like when you sit here and watch TV and you hear the commercials and it's like, you got anxiety, we can get rid of anxiety, you know, and then the side effects are like loose butthole, fucking insomnia, fucking teeth rot, and it's like, what
is the sacrifice?
Yeah, like when
Yeah.
you know, are you reaping the reward at this point because you're trying to get rid of a cold, and you know you're getting loose limb as a side effect.
Yeah.
Some things are needed, right? If you get sick, sometimes a pharmaceutical pill is needed, but a lot of these pharmaceuticals out there, their whole goal is to keep you on it for life, right? Where a lot of times now we know a lot of these things can be healed naturally, right? And so I'd rather go do a cold plunge, go to yoga, go to the reality center, go run on the beach, than maybe take an SSRI.
Right.
And that's going to be the best medicine ever. And I tell people, if I miss like a morning running or walking 1 mile in the morning, like that's the best like Xanax ever. Like get out in nature and put your headphones on and just like walk a mile or two. Even if it's just like 1 mile up and back, your day will be set. And when things do come up, you'll be a lot more calm and balanced to move through all those things. It's very important. You don't need any money to literally put the headphones in and walk a mile up and back before everything starts in the morning. Everybody's got enough time to do that.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, it really comes down to where you're putting your priorities, because if you're looking at it as that you got to take on the day as soon as you wake up, well, maybe get up a little bit earlier and do like the stretches of the day. Like you said, walk. Some people make their bed, you know, certain things that you compile over time, and like walking, touching earth, and you said put your headphones in. Even for me, I mean, I would rather just listen to the birds and just listen to what's around
LA,
me.
you just hear traffic, so you got to put the headphones in.
That's fair. That's fair. We don't have as many of those problems where I'm at. But at the same time, like, you make a good point though. Like, your location really dictates like the focus you have to this, because I mean, someone that's thinking about this, that's living out in the Bufus, if you will, that's only seeing local cow, is not going to deal with the distractions that you're getting in LA, where all this distractions happening.
Life is just slower, right? When you have less things coming at you, life moves a lot slower.
Yeah. And it's a reality for someone that's dealing with mental health issues, because the more slowness you have, the more time you have to think, the more things you have to bear and be vulnerable with. Where if there's a lot of distractions, you might be able to put something down within yourself really deep. When there, I mean, location might have a huge deal with this too. You know what I mean? Like, if this was something you were out in the middle of nowhere, the people that you're going to be dealing with will be much different than I'm sure what you're dealing with now.
I lived in Washington State, and the summers were beautiful, but during the winter and the fall, it rained every single day. And the spring, sorry.
And the spring. 3/4 of the year.
So every single day. One day it was raining 185 days straight rain.
What?
Yeah, I'm not here for that.
Nah, but I mean, that takes someone's spirit. I mean, that puts people in the mental place of, but then again, if you're used to it and that's all you know, I mean, someone that sees sunshine every single day.
You need sun. If you take a plant out of the sun, it'll die.
Yep. Easy as that.
Sun.
That's it.
Yep. Sun.
So when this whole COVID happened, or not COVID, when the fires of LA happened, like what was your mental state? Like, was the city not doing anything? Like, why did you step up and become the catalyst? The catalyst for, because I remember even when all this happened, Chip the Ripper was like, you
Yep,
know,
Chip came out.
I need somebody.
awesome.
Yeah, he's like,
That's
I
amazing.
want to help out if I can.
Yep.
And I messaged Chip and I was like, yo, like get a hold of my boy Chia. Like he's doing work out there right now.
Yeah,
so
thanks for connecting us. Shout out to Chip, and we got to help out a lot of people together. And he pulled up in the Cybertruck.
yay, he
And,
drove it out there. That's
yeah,
fire.
Pulled up in the Cybertruck, and we just loaded him up with everything. Pretty much a massive load of diapers, food, all the sort of essential, important things that are really expensive. Especially stuff for young kids.
Yeah.
And we just packed up his Cybertruck, and he brought it down to one of the shelters. And then eventually, one of his friends that was helping us, he ended up losing his place, and so we got to help him out. Big time, and just loaded him up with everything he needed. And it was crazy how it happened because my partner Don lives in the Palisades, and he's 73. You know, he's rounding third right now, and you know, a lot of the technology that he built is a lot of the stuff that we use at the reality center, and it's been out for a really long time. The world just wasn't ready for it.
Right.
So when the fires happened, we basically had to, he was evacuated from his home, and we didn't know if his house was burnt down or not. So we had him staying at the reality center. Then somehow one of our celebrity friends like tweeted or out that I was like, yeah, I'll help some people, put some people up with whatever they need. And somebody tweeted that we were a shelter. Then I just started fielding calls, like hundreds of calls a day from people that were trying to not stay with us, but give stuff.
Oh, wow.
From all over, from San Diego to Canada.
That's incredible.
And whether it be local churches or just friends that all lived on the block together, people are loading semis filled with all the essential. They would call me and they'd be like, "What do you need?" And I was dealing with everybody who lost their homes. And during COVID, we got our feet wet with global natural disaster, and this was a little bit more confined disaster, but it was right in our backyard, and we're right on the beach. We saw the flames coming right towards us.
That's insane.
It was pretty nuts, and so we got put on as a shelter for some weird reason, and people just started donating goods, and I wasn't going to turn anything away, so people would call us and be like, I have a tractor trailer filled with potatoes. I'm like, bring them. I have 1,000 meals that I want to bring to the veterans or the National Guard or the firefighters, and we treat all the local police and firefighters. Shout out to Dr. Gina Gallivan. She's one of the lead clinical psychologists for all the police and fire agencies. So through her, I knew all the police captains and all the sergeants. And so we were just calling them when everybody was calling us to figure out how to feed all the guys on the front lines. And we were just running supply back and forth with also fielding calls of people that, like families or themselves, lost stuff. And so we shut down the reality center for 3 months. It was filled with sometimes 30 pallets out front on the sidewalk.
That's crazy.
Wow, that's incredible.
Shout out to the mayor, homegirl Lana, and all the Santa Monica Police and Fire that just graciously let us sort of double park tractor trailers on the streets for a couple weeks and just run pallets in and out. The hostel that's right next to us graciously let us put a bunch of stuff in front of them, Hot 8 Yoga next to us, and we were fielding calls of people that lost their homes. 65 people lost their homes, 6,500. And so people would call and they would say, hey, I'm in this hotel or at my parents' house. I got kids, 1, 5, and 7. None of us have clothes. We lost, we
No
ran out of there.
shoes, nothing, bro.
Nothing,
like, man.
nothing, not even a water bottle.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people, these are multi-million-dollar homes. But when everything burns up in your home, it doesn't matter how rich you are or where you came from. People would come in, they're like, oh, no, it's all good. We're just staying in the hotel down the street. I'm like, do you have a water bottle? They're like, no. I'm like, you got sons? Yeah. They don't have water bottles? Okay, you're going to take these water bottles.
Yeah.
And people were realizing, because a lot of people were in shock. Because they got pushed out of Palisades and they landed in downtown Santa Monica trying to find a hotel or somewhere to stay.
And I'm sure all the
They were
hotels
walking around
started price
half burnt
gouging.
up you couldn't price gouge.
Okay,
or
that's good.
They're coming for you.
That's good.
Yeah, so it was a good thing they put a little price gouging blanket over a lot of stuff.
It's good. It's very good.
But unfortunately, a lot of people that lost their homes in the Palisades, the insurance companies dropped them 6 months before the fire started.
Heard about that. That's the craziest part about the whole thing.
And
man.
we can go deep into conspiracy theory and what's going on, but ultimately a lot of people lost their homes. I know somebody that was a 40-year golf pro, had a really good life, high school golf, college golf, 40 years pro, and 6 months before, a multi-million-dollar home in the Palisades or forever home, everything in it.
You invested all into your homestead.
That's it. And especially in California, when you have to spend a lot of your income on your home, right? That they just lost everything, and now they're staying in a bungalow.
Right.
A couple years past retirement age in Venice, and they're never going to get that back.
Yeah, that's insane, man.
Yeah, and so we spent about good hard 30 days running supplies to the front lines or anybody that lost anything. No questions asked. You can come into the reality center, grab anything you needed, load your car up. Our team would just run it right out to the front with you.
Yeah.
But we've got to feed thousands of people. We had to move, a couple hundred veterans from the West LA VA campus down to the Bob Hope Patriotic Hall in downtown LA. Worked with the Red Cross. Red Cross had cots and blankets, but they didn't have showers, food, all these other things yet. And so our team, my nonprofit veteran care group, came in, just opened up the checkbook, wrote the checks for, my shout out to my boy that supplied the luxury bathrooms for my wedding.
Oh, okay.
I called him. There was 200 people there, no showers. It was like day 3. I'm like, what the fuck is?
Yeah.
How the fuck are they going to clean their? These are older people that we don't want going too long. I can go without a shower for a little bit, and so he had 2 showers left, and he pulled up 2 shower trailers. Wrote the check to him.
Wow.
Thank God. And so we just got really actively involved in everything that was going around, whether it's Altadena or in the Palisades.
I mean, let me just give you your flowers, bro, because you're the type
that shit.
You're the type of person that LA needed at that moment, right? Like, you've built these connections and you built these relationships, not on a moment like this. Like, you've built these relationships because of the person you are. You know what I mean? Like, you're a humble dude. You want to see everybody win, and if there's a seat at the table, you're like, sit down, let's grub. So for somebody like you to be in that situation where the governor, you're like, what the fuck, bro? Like, what are we gonna do? You know what I mean? Like everyone's sitting on their hands. We gotta make moves. So it's like it's so great to see somebody like you that was there at that moment. That you've got a million things going on, bro. A million things, and you got bills that need to be paid. And at a time like this, for you to be able to stop and pivot and work with the community, it just goes to show your character, because you've built this. You built all these friendships over the past 10, 20 years. So, and it's not like you're the millionaire. It's not like you're the big bunny in the sky where, when people need to come to you, they can go, hey, I need a 10K. You know what I mean? But somebody like you, like, you've got that mentality and that drive where when people feel lost, like, I can look forward to what Jonathan Chia has to say, or his thought process, and that goes a far drive, man. Especially, like I said, you're from Cincinnati, and for you to be out there in LA and to be able to take the reins when no one else wanted to take the reins, that's a huge character like moment in you as a person, bro.
Yeah, I mean, in the military, you go over there and you figure out how to be selfless, right? Like, you're going to die for your country, for the person on the left and right, and you get their first taste of that.
And all you're going to do is get a name on a plaque in some park.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people go to the military because they don't feel like they are anything.
Right.
And you go there to make somebody proud of you. And it's a good place to start for a lot of people that are looking for that.
That's right. That's a real.
I would say that. No matter what you think about the military, it will definitely make you into something. And it can be a really sharp tool if you want it to be.
Yeah.
I met some of the most amazing people, ever in my life. I was just with Wild Man Rudy Reyes, Marine, really famous veteran.
Wild Man Rudy Reyes.
And
sounds like he needs to have his own movie.
Oh, he have you ever seen Generation Kill? He was in that series on HBO, and he's in a bunch of reality TV shows. But trained killers, but some of the most amazing, gracious, loving people you ever meet in your life. Some of the people from my veteran community.
When you are, after, like, you've left the military, how have you connected with people that you met there, even though you may not be close? Is there any any communication circuit that you have been able to like conduct with people to be able to like catch up with people that from the military time? Because I know when you come out, you're like thrown out into public, right? And you're in, and even just getting comms with friends and people, it's got to be the most difficult thing. Have you found anything that makes it easier to
We're all in a
connect?
Facebook group together, everybody in
Okay.
my battalion.
Yeah, okay.
But a lot of people that are sort of military influencers and have maybe they have brands or they have any kind of voice. A lot of us all know each other now.
Okay.
And a lot of us have came together.
Okay.
And so we all support each other's endeavors and visit each other when we're in different towns. I was just with Tom Satterley, famous Delta operator from Black Hawk Down. I was just in Austin with him and Operation Homefront with 50 special or operators and their wives for a healing 3-day camp out on this farm in Austin.
That's cool.
But all different kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah,
I was
that's awesome.
at the psychedelic conference with all the boys from Texas. They just got the Ibogaine bill passed down there, and $50 million funding for research with former Governor Rick Perry.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go back to the 3-day event. So what was it? Were you sponsoring that? What was your point of being
we've
there?
come out there as one of the sponsors, and
Okay.
we brought our two of our beds.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so all the 50 couples that went through there's different things, whether it be like a keynote speak or cold plunges. We were just one of the activities that they can do. They gave us our own little house, and we just set up in there.
Oh,
And
cool.
People would just sort of wait in line, and we would run them on a little 10-minute experience. And there wasn't not one wife that. Actually, there was one, but
Okay.
Everybody pretty emotional because, especially in the infantry or the operator community, a lot of people are wound up really tight, and so their counterparts, their wives and their kids are wound up pretty tight too.
Yeah.
So they need their own healing, and oftentimes it's the veteran maybe going to something by himself and working on himself. But the veteran's family needs some healing time too.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole other conversation about the loved ones and the ones that are watching the battle happen, within the veteran or whoever's dealing with the trauma, if that's the case. You know what I mean? Because they are along for the ride, and they can only do so much. You know what I mean? So they're limited, and I'm sure you've probably gotten so many kind and positive words from people thanking you for. You said there's positive experiences, so they're obviously getting a positive experience because their loved one is seeing a new light, if you will. So
I mean, some of the
Yeah.
stuff that happened that happens on a daily, weekly basis. Sometimes one of the people that went through, she got up and she was in tears, and she said, "My father died when I was 2 years old." And she said, I never met him. I don't really know what he looked like. She said, but I was sitting on the beach next to him the entire time.
Oh, wow.
And so people can really connect. And most of the time it's their loved ones that they haven't met, that in life they need to connect with that energy, right? You lose a mom or a father at a young age, or somebody that was supposed to be in your life through all these different things.
Yeah.
There's some things that as a human you missed out on that needed to be like a sort of notch in the belt. And in your psyche, as you grow up, your childlike self needs those things to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
They need that love.
Yeah, wow. That is extremely powerful, though. I mean, that is powerful because the human experience does have components that are fundamental in our growth and our development. And when you miss out on those for whatever reason, it doesn't have to be death. It could be, family breaking up way before you even cognitively realize what's going on. It's so crazy to think that when you go into this state of mind, there's some repair that can happen, even though you're not even fully prepared to be repaired. I guess you could say.
Yeah, you didn't even know you need to be repaired. You just knew that there was something wrong.
Something
yeah.
wrong, and the depth that it goes is pretty incredible.
Well, you hide it really deep to protect yourself, right?
Okay,
And as you
yeah.
get older, you basically, the first big trauma that happens in life, you put on the suit of armor.
Mm-hmm.
And each time life happens, you just put on more and more weight on that armor. Then when you get into get into my age, when most of the people come into the reality center start working on their mental health, it just gets so heavy.
Yeah.
And it creates stress and anxiety and dissonance and not eating healthy and bad habits and all those things. And our technology allows you to take it off for a little bit. And I tell everybody, you're going to feel a couple pounds lighter when you come out of here. Nobody disagrees with me.
Sure.
And I said, if you can think something and make your life worse, maybe you can think something, make your life a little bit better.
Absolutely, man. That's incredible, bro.
It really is. It's powerful. It is so powerful.
So let me ask you something, man. How did you go from like doing the photography, videography, documentary things? How'd you go from that to the reality center? Was it something that you were missing and couldn't find? You know what I mean? Like, because obviously, like we were talking earlier, therapy for guys, it's like, I don't want to go and spend money to tell somebody my problems when they're going to tell me the answers I already know. You know what I mean? So like going to somewhere like this where, it's not just a conversation. It's something where, it's never been experienced before for me, but you're saying, hey, this is going to help you out. How did it go from being that film guy to the reality center?
COVID, really.
Ah,
and so COVID, we own a medical supply company, and we're in the thick of things in COVID. COVID was actually really well to us and our family and our business partners because we were selling the things that everybody needed. And we were the only new people who know how to move it or get it. And so we got our first, like I said, look at sort of a global disaster and how to help. We had forklifts, warehouses, employees, shipping containers all over the world, waiting for containers from China. And so when it was a more localized thing, we knew what to do. But after that, we saw how much people's mental health deteriorated, and how much people on social media were talking about their addictions or their mental health struggles and talking pretty openly about it. And so we've been working with our co-founder, Don Estes, who, like I said, built a lot of the original technology, built the original wavetable, figured out the sort of the digital psychedelic side. And we found a space in Santa Monica and found a beautiful space and started building it out. And really, it was just our lab, and just started inviting friends and veterans and press in. Then Adam DeJourn from the senior writer at LA Times came in and experienced what we did and wrote a really, really good article about us.
That's detrimental, because he could have came in and said this was a scam, right? But like, it just goes to show that like what you're doing is really putting the rubber to the ground, right? Because it's not just a chiropractor. We're gonna crack your back and make you feel better. Like what you're doing is really, especially when it comes to the hurts and the wavelengths and things like that, man. Like, it goes back histories, like hundreds of thousands of years where people have used like the harmonic tones to
sound and music was our original communication.
Yeah.
And so you can use sound to, I use some drums, I can take you back to an African drum circle, right? Or if I use nature sounds in water, I can take you to the ocean.
Right.
Yeah. And so in our journeys, we like to take you on a journey all around. So you're going to feel like you're in water. You're going to feel like you're out in the forest and nature. You're going to feel like you're surfing. You're going to feel like you're on top of a mountain for a little bit. And you're going to feel like you're in the cosmos.
That's the shit.
It's amazing. And the power of music is incredible. So I love that. That's such a key component to this process.
Yeah.
Music is the bridge.
Yeah,
right?
it's amazing. You mentioned EDM is a big part of what's going on on the West Coast in California, and coffee raves.
Yeah, coffee raves.
Coffee raves.
All the rave right now.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, all the rave right now.
Coffee raves.
Coffee
No
raves.
pun intended.
So it's daytime coffee raves.
Yeah, sober daytime coffee raves, B12 shots,
B12,
wellness.
yeah.
I could see that. I could see that picking up
cold
quick
plunges,
in Cincy, bro.
group saunas, runs like Diplo Run Club. Shout out to Jamie Weeks and Sweat House for sponsoring all the Diplo Run Clubs, where you can go and get in a cold plunge right after you run.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
cool, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nothing like that here in Cincy yet, bro. Nothing.
There will be. Look up Sweat House right now and see if there's one here yet.
Sweat House.
I think it's SWTHZ. Sorry if I butchered that.
Yeah, since he moves at a pace,
It's contrast therapy, right? There's always been saunas. There's always been the cold plunges are a little bit newer nuance.
Sweat House, HOUZ.
Yep.
There's one in Westchester.
There you go. Already.
there you go.
So you guys got to check it out. Shout out to Jamie. I'll see you on Monday, brother.
Hey, that's fire, bro.
Shout out for
Yeah.
sure.
So we're looking to start scaling and expanding the reality centers and our technology across the United States, and so that's what you'll see happening in 2026. Hopefully, a bunch of new locations.
That's incredible, bro. So you plan on tapping into? Are you part of Sweet House? Are you?
No. That's Jamie Weeks' thing. That's his creation. But referencing that contrast therapy is big right now, and we're coming in right behind that.
That's incredible, bro. Absolutely incredible.
We're the first people in the market, right? We're the first people with our dick on the table. So we had to do a lot of money goes into educating the public on what the hell it is.
Of course, yeah.
Before people can spend their money on it, right?
Right, yeah. So obviously you guys have repeat customers. You guys have people coming back, and or is it something where after 2 or 3 times they're kind of cured, and like that's the goal is like to not have them come back.
Sometimes yes, right? Sometimes people get the answers they need, just like going to a psychedelic experience ceremony.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might not need to go back for a year, but we all need that maintenance, right? And so we have technology that we're rolling out called Intune. That's the first easiest sort of biofeedback tool. You speak into it, and it creates a personalized binaural beat from your own biofeedback, your own voice.
Oh, wow.
So it's personalized. Then going to YouTube and typing in 432 hertz and listening to something.
Yeah.
Right? And so in between, like coming to us is like going to the gym and working out with the trainer that you need every once in a while. Then at home, you'll use Intune, which is like the Peloton at home.
The way that I'm kind of hearing this, it's almost like a factory reset. You know what I mean? Like in life, you got like problems that happen, good things that happen, bad things that happen, all this stuff. But like, the same thing with the phone. You've got all this stuff that happens, but every once in a while, you need to turn the phone off and then get a complete reset. Turn it back on so everything's running fresh. And it kind of sounds like that's the MO of the reality centers. Like, hey, like every couple months you gotta reset the phone.
Well, it's like,
you know what I mean? Because all the buildup, all the stuff that you've looked at and cured in the past 2 months, it's all in there, right? Yeah. And so we have to get a reset. Fresh mind, fresh eyes, fresh phone.
And the reset's just the first part. That's why there's 3 things.
As the resets at the top, yeah.
Yeah, you got to reset it first. So if somebody comes in on the mental health side most of the time first. I have stress, anxiety. I'm not sleeping well. I'm dealing with issues and trauma from my childhood. But we try to flip them over to the human performance side as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. All right, now we forgave Dad. What do you want to do for the rest of your life? What do you want to do every day? Take care, brother. And that's the best thing we can give anybody. And so the best answers are always going to come from your own higher self, and that's who we connect you with.
Right.
Yeah.
And we help you become your own therapist, and you can write a prescription to feel however it is you want.
And that's the best part about what you're doing, man, because when you can figure it out on your own, when you have that oh shit moment, you know what I mean, or when you're in this and you're going through these steps of the reality center, and then you step out and you're like, man, I feel lighter, like you said, like, and that's real, you know what I mean, because stress is heavy. It's like it doesn't. There's no pounds to it, but it will weigh you down. It'll make you walk slower, make you feel slower. So if you can find something like the reality center that's able to reset you and get you back in that moment where you're like, all right, I'm good to go. That's something that like there's no companies out there trying to do that, man. They're all trying to they're trying to put the carrot in front of you, and they're trying to get you to run towards it, right?
A lot of them, which takes you further away from your own self. Right?
100%.
They're trying to take you closer back home to yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
That's awesome. I think the best part about what I've learned is how close and how intentional you are with the process. Because I mean, all the details that you've really shared with us up until this point it's incredible, specific, and I think there's power in the details. That's what makes anything worth checking out. You know what I mean? Like, heard. It's worth, because when you're diving into this, I mean, you're dealing with people's most vulnerable selves, and you're going into places where they, I mean, whether they're prepared to go there or not, you're taking them there. You know,
most people don't think it's going to go where it goes.
Okay, yeah, I figured it's going to catch them off guard for sure, because you said that someone was. Parent passed like when they were 2.
I mean, this shit happens all the time.
And then they went back and sitting with their parent that's long gone before they even really had an opportunity to ever even get the ability to understand what their action is in this consciousness.
At this point, I can say it pretty confidently that a lot of people go and see their loved ones on the other side, like when they need to.
That's it's hard to understand, you know what I mean? But I think that's part of the human. You're a part of the human development and mental. I mean, there's so many things we can do with our brains that we just haven't. You know, and there's places that we just haven't discovered as humans, because some people may be able to tap into them, but the general public just hasn't been taught that kind of a thing. You know, like for me,
you ever seen the movie The Matrix?
I have.
You ever seen Inception?
I have.
Sort of the same thing.
Sort of the same thing.
We're going to put you in a dream within a dream, or unplug you from the matrix, and you're going to see what's really behind the curtain, and you have to be prepared for it.
What do you think is the most unexpected aspect of this? When someone's going into this, what do you tell them? Like, expect the unexpected. What would you say the biggest thing, the heaviest thing that you've seen come from it?
I mean, we're dealing with people that are on suicide watch on a weekly basis. We're dealing with people, police officer, veteran, have the pistol in their mouth,
police
all the time.
Police come in.
Yes.
A lot of
police, firefighters, veterans, first responders, EMTs, the psychologists that are the clinicians that deal with everybody, that have to take the load of all the talking about all the fucked up things that are going on in people's life.
The therapists are coming in.
That energy transfers over, right? Imagine if somebody's just going to you talking about their problems all the time.
They do.
Yeah.
We have a chair up there. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah. So it is what it is. And so when you're a practitioner or somebody guiding people to these things, you got to work on yourself even more. And a lot of times when you look at a nurse or a doctor, those people work on themselves even less, because they're so focused on the person to their right and left.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And really the best information is on the airplane. Secure your own mask first, then you can turn to the person to the left and right. And so most of the time,
all the time.
Most of the time, a lot of people go into those jobs because they're broken anyways, and so they want to help other people. But most of the time, they forget to help themselves along the way.
Yeah, I actually say that often, is fix the mask on you, so you can help the mask people around you with their mask. If you're helping them, plane goes down, you may not be able to help anyone. You know what I mean? And that's something that it's important to remember, is that you do have to take care of yourself. If you're parenting children, they can only do so much if you're not able to help them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't be a divorce counselor and went through 6 divorces.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a very good point. And I mean, I'm sure there's people that are dealing with heavy divorces that are coming in too for you. I mean, everything. Yeah, like that's.
But the whole point is, any of those things, once you realize that you can take all those, those things that are meant to be resilience training in your life, and when you flip them over to your superpower, and like every time you've been through something big, that's like climbing Everest, right? Little notch in your belt. And when you figure out that all those things you've been through, like more of the fucked up things, right? Like being poor, having problems in school, not having the right parents there, all those things we need at our adolescence. The more you figure out like those things were meant to you to forge you into who the fuck you are today, the faster you realize that, the faster you can use it to your superpower.
That's all. I love the superpower.
And so the kid that is growing up with nothing, you look at him in the eyes and you say, one day you're going to look back and you're going to be thankful you went through this.
Is that you, bro? Is that you?
That's me, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. So let me ask you a question. 2035, right? Sounds like a lifetime away. Sounds so futuristic. It's less than 10 years, man. Where are you at in 2035?
Oh, man. I've worked really hard for a long time with my team. We've been together for almost 15 years now. We create a lot of businesses. So it would be, as our kids get a little bit older, and my oldest is 25. I'm sure he'll be blessing me with grandkids. Any time now. It could be 5 years. It could be next year. But I want to take some time off and being able to spend all that time maybe that I didn't have with them as we were on the come up.
There you go.
We'll always have a place in Los Angeles, but we've been looking at a little place back here, a little place in Palm Springs. So I'm sure we'll have homes in a couple different places. We'll have exited, I'm sure, from our retail locations at that point. But our technology side, reality management technologies, we're doing a lot of cool things right now.
Just getting started, bro.
We're about to, it's who builds all the technology, and so we've been working with our partners BMW the last 2 years, putting our technology in their cars.
Wow.
So that's the 2030 vision. We told them to hurry the fuck up because we're ready now.
Hey.
If you hear that, BMW Design Works. It's coming. Wellness in cars is coming.
That sounds genius, bro. Especially because of how much road rage and when you're behind the driver's seat. Like, I've never heard anybody speak it so easily as Joe Rogan. He's like, of course you're angry. You're in a rocket going 90 miles an hour down the road with other rockets going 90 miles. He's like, of course you're gonna be like on edge the entire time you're driving.
It's true.
You don't think about that, bro. It's like Kaylin, for instance. Like, she's having to drive Aslan to her voc. She's going to vocational school, so she's leaving the house at 5:30 in the morning to drive 2 hours to Indiana and then hour and a half back to her work. So she's in this in the thick of it, bro, early in the morning. And I'm telling her, she was like, I'm so exhausted. I'm like, driving 3 hours before you even get to work is probably more exhausting than 8 hours at work. You know what I mean? Because like your mind, like, you've got to be like, if you're driving on the highway for 3 hours before you even get to work,
Grab that wine down.
it's got to be yum.
Got to get the Franzia in the shot.
I'm trying to get out of the shot.
Oh, trying to get it out of the shot.
Yeah.
It was in the shot?
He was going to get he's going to get the whole podcast, I believe, is what the goal is.
Oh, gotcha.
Step in front of the wine right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you got the screen though.
Oh, yeah, we can.
But
he could go from this back. There's few angles that he can go.
It's just one of those things, man, where you've got, you don't realize how much energy and emotions you put into just getting to where you need to go.
It's true.
You know what I mean? So for somebody like, you said BMW?
BMW.
It is. I mean, that's forward thinking, bro.
Yeah, BMW just randomly came in, booked a session, their entire advanced design team.
They knew it too. They were like, we heard about this.
They had a good session, broed out, asked us all the questions, and a month later they emailed us and they said, I will never forget that email. I'm going to probably print it out. They said,
you forgot it.
That shit changed our lives. We want you to be a part of the BMW family. How do we start? I said, give us a car.
Give us a car.
And there was dead silence for about 30 seconds. And they said, how about we start with a seat? And so they gave us one seat, and we decked that out. And they gave us 2 seats, we decked that out. And we did a whole sort of experience. And they shipped it over to Munich, Germany. Everybody from Rolls-Royce and Mini Cooper and BMW all got a chance to try our technology. And it was pretty cool,
bro. How's
so cool, bro.
Man? Again, yeah. I need to give you flowers, bro, because that's something that's insane, man. To think that like your technology, a company like BMW is introducing to their staff Like, what do you guys think of this?
And they're so advanced, they're doing like next level shit. And so ours is just like a small little test in between all the stuff that they're doing. But we think it really has a shot to go into market. It could be pretty cool. But on the other side, we had the entire L'Oreal fragrance team in, and they were coming in to get inspiration to figure out the new Chanel No. 5.
Hey, all right.
And so schooling them on using some technology to figure out what colors, palettes, scents to use, and their thought process when they're thinking about what that's going to be.
That's incredible, bro.
Yeah, they flew in from France. They were really hard to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when they're talking fragrances, bro. You're like, I don't know, man. I know music.
I know music.
Yeah. I know
EDM.
sounds.
I know sounds. I mean, the different industries that you're entering are going to probably open doors into other industries. You know what I mean? So like you're just really hitting the start, and you were talking like a 5-year, 10-year plan. I mean, this could flow into the next 20 years of new technologies, and I mean, wellness is not going away. This is we're scratching the surface.
It's just getting started on that
at this point. You know what I mean? We're in the infancy stages.
Yeah,
of
self-care
the
self-care has been lost.
I
Yeah.
pitched the CEO and founder of Tinder, and I said, let's build an app where we're connecting people based off their frequency, their vocal frequenties.
Dude.
What?
And
So how would that,
like fuck
cuz
swiping on somebody? What if you guys are on that same vibe?
that's the type of mentality I need, bro, because like I'm a big believer in aura. It's like something you can't see, you can't, but you can feel it. You know what I mean? And like when, you and I, a prime example, the second that we met, it was like two auras, bro. It was like, people got different color auras, but when those auras match up, it's just like bing, like as soon as you walked into the room and we met, man, it was like, I've known this guy. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna know this guy the rest of my life. There's people that come and go, and then there's some people that just you gravitate towards. And I don't know if that's an aura thing. I've always felt like that's an aura thing.
Some people just have a brightness about them. Not speaking about myself, because I don't, it's hard
Yeah,
to
you
look
can't
at yourself.
see. You can't
it's hard
see
to look
it.
at myself in the mirror.
Others
but
will tell you.
Some people have what I would be like, how I explain it to my children. I'm like, that's it's a pretty bright song right there, and they understand what that means. And people could have a brightness to them.
Yeah.
Right. They come into the room, and people just gravitate towards them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's a real thing. I mean, the energy. I mean, inside each one of our pores, we have electricity, right? We have electricity in us, static electricity, and that whole process. So there is some conduction that's happening within us. So the energy is real. It's a scientific fact. It's just the gravitation that it takes when it's humans connecting, because that's really has to come down. You're seeing through your eyes, which relay into your brain, and all that process is connecting this whole moment. So when you see someone, you can relate to them, whether it's physically, whether it's how they smile, the eye contact. There's so many different factors that lead to the connection. But when somehow you just know that someone is on your same frequency, and it might be empathy. There might be something there when we connect with someone.
Just anything that's like them, right? If you guys like both baseball cards, y'all are going to bro out on baseball cards, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys like sports, you're going to see somebody out with the Cincinnati Bearcats and be like, "What's up? You like that game last week?"
Yeah.
Right. And so you're wearing it on your sleeve most of the time. But if you want to connect with somebody deep, just tell them your story, right? And so storytelling is very important. And where modern healthcare, doesn't do it right. They were taught to not share anything about yourself. So we have a whole lot of psychologists out there taught to not share any personal information with the people that they're trying to treat. And most people know my private personal story before they even come into the reality center. They read about it, they see me on a podcast, and
Sure.
So they already know, right? They already know I've been through a lot in my life, and maybe I can help guide them through a point in their life. And my partner Tarun, shout out to Tarun, said it the best. He's like, people are just at people are just at different points in their journey, right? And so you got to be very aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're ahead of them in your journey, you can help them with a lot of things. And it starts with telling your story. With me, I'm ADD, I'm dyslexic. My father's an immigrant from Lima, Peru. I grew up in the Midwest, Catholic. I sucked in school. I failed out through everything. I never graduated high school. But I help people in some of the most dramatic, impactful moments of their life. And I've been there and part of pop culture and some of the most epic moments that have gone down in the last 20 years since I've been in this industry. And so a lot
resilience,
of people,
bro. It's incredible.
Resilience, yeah.
that's what our program's called for the veterans. It's a resilience program.
Oh,
And
cool.
so because afterwards people look sometimes, you just got off a roller coaster and we're trying to talk them down of what just happened. And I use the example, if I was your trainer and I called you up and I said, all right, we're going to mall walk today. After that mall walk, we probably wouldn't be high-fiving. There would be no euphoric. There would be no serotonin and dopamine. We wouldn't be celebrating. But if I said we're going to go hiking and we get stuck in the side of the mountain and break your ankle like I did and get helicoptered off the side, then find your way back and end up being okay. There's going to be some tears coming. We're going to be hugging each other. We're going to be saying, thank God we're alive. And the impact that you get that will stay with you forever after you go through this challenge that we put you through for those first 10 minutes will last forever. It's like why adults want to do Tough Mudder these days.
Right.
I didn't get that hardcore impact that I needed as a young kid, so I need to be put through hell to feel like, I'm going to the next level in my life.
Yeah.
Right? You've never been challenged. And so if you've never been challenged, how do you take any amount of stress if you don't know if you can handle it?
Yeah, that's
right?
interesting.
You probably won't be the guy in front line for the raise if you haven't been tested really hard.
Right.
You probably won't be the people to lead a pack of employees.
Sure,
right?
yeah. Everyone's journey on that's different. Like a lot of my resilience and everything, it's kind of started from early age, but like when I was on the wrestling team and the wrestling's a lot of things happen through that.
Wrestling is definitely resilience.
Yeah,
any combat sports.
Yeah, and they put you through the ringer, whether you want to be there in that situation. It just happens. You're like, you fed to the wolves. The lions
like
pretty
think
fast.
Hot yoga is bad. How about you wrestle another dude just slamming each other with even hotter?
Yes, and no one's there to take it easy on you. It's not even like no one's there to pad it for you. It's going to be like a hard situation. Yeah. And a lot of times in the beginning, they throw you with the best wrestlers. So when you don't know anything, they throw you in the lion's den with someone that knows everything. And you're like, oh, wake up call. Like the first time they throw you on the mat and your head hits the ground and the coaches get up and you're like, I'm seeing stars right now. And he's like, well, those stars are about to get worse, so you better get up. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, you adapt and those stars get smaller. Before you know it, you're able to give stars to someone else because you're training them before you know it's 2 years in and you've learned. And I think that creates resiliency. It also creates leaders.
There's another layer to that. Teaching somebody how to do that. Right, that's the next level to that.
That's the next level.
Right, you become the teacher, and I was an MMA fighter for the military. I was on the All-Army team, and this is the time when people like Tim Kennedy was fighting on the All-Army team, like some serious fucking people. And when I went in there and I met the rest of my team, we all thought we were all the best.
Yeah.
From out of 30,000 people on this post on Fort Lewis, and I went in there and got baseball choked the fuck out, like literally lights out. And
same thing happened to my dad, man. That's crazy that the Army has like a boxing thing, because like my dad was in the same.
Oh, it's full on MMA combat sports now. It's called combatives, and so the Gracies basically built the program with the Army, and so you're learning lots of jiu-jitsu. You're learning, but you're boxing like level 1. I used to teach about 100 to 150 students every single week. It was a whole week, right? We got taken out of your unit. Uniform goes inside and out, and you have to learn like 36 moves, some throws, some takedowns, some submission shit, some grappling stuff. But at the end, you had to do a punch drill. And so it was us, trainers with the boxing gloves, and you just had a mouthpiece in, and you had to basically go in, do a couple different holds on us for a couple seconds as we're bashing you in the face. And the point of that was not to like embarrass you or anything, but to desensitize you before you actually go to fucking war.
Right.
We don't want it to be the first time you get punched in the face is when you're in theater.
Yeah, you got to be able to take a punch to start. You have to you got to go through practice, with anything, whether it's singing, with music, with any kind of training, with different combat sports. I mean, when you're talking, like you said, jiu-jitsu, what other martial arts are you familiar with?
Judo, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. I was a grappler, in high school. Boxing, you had to be a really, really good boxer. But those are the main ones: judo, grappling,
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, boxing.
Any Greco-Roman, anything like that?
I mean, I was a wrestler.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I love Greco-Roman.
Did all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. It's just I'm all about I was big into throws. Anytime I could get something, anytime I could get anything in, I would try to, because wrestling is as much of a mental game as it is a physical, because you're mirroring someone, you're seeing what they're doing, you got to make sure that your weight distribution you don't go over, under, and then also you're wrestling someone you're similar in size, so if you're fast, they're fast in most cases. If they're slow, you're slow in a lot of cases. When it gets to the heavyweights, my best friend was heavyweight, and watching them wrestle when I'm at a 103 and he's at a 1.
You're like, I could take that, dude.
Bro,
Yeah,
these
I
guys
wrestled 103 freshman
Did you?
year, so
Yeah.
shout out to the 103s out there.
Yeah, they're fast, man. We're scrappy. We get down, but
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Ryle High School.
Ryle, okay.
To Ryle.
All right.
We
that was
both went
out
to
there.
Ryle.
All
Yeah,
right.
I was just younger than him, but yeah, he mentioned Jordan Blackmore. Like, it's just like that group of people. I hung out with the musicians, but then I was also on the wrestling team, so I was like on two sides of the fence, and neither liked each other. That was the worst part. My friends didn't like each other. That was That was literally the worst part of high school.
Testosterone and guitar playing sometimes don't always blend together.
No.
You know?
They got and one time the two leaders got into a fight by the lockers, and I was like, my friends, what's happening right
No.
now? Both of them, the head of the lunch tables, both lunch tables were just at each other, and they were both. But the wrestler, I mean, Michael Bryan, just whooped him. But it didn't matter. I couldn't help. I didn't know what to do. I was like, what's happening? One's going home to play guitar, and one's I don't know what Michael's doing, but either way, those worlds collided. And for me, I'm like on the arts, but yet I'm on the athletic side, so it was kind of tough for me. But now, growing up, I do a sports podcast. I do this. I have a interview artist. I work at Madison Theater as well. So
all right.
kind of blend my worlds. But back then,
So you want to hear my Madison Theater story?
Sure.
Let's hear it,
Let's
bro.
hear it.
Peak Avicii,
Peak Avicii.
Madison Theater, fucking the levels, like the peak of the song levels.
I didn't even know
Yeah.
Avicii
that
came there.
floor
Avicii, yeah.
fucking moved up and down like a foot. But
Yeah.
shout out to
Yeah.
R.I.P. Avicii.
Yeah.
And that was a very but I was filming everything.
Oh, okay.
My boy Jeremy Helsip, who was a filmmaker from around here that filmed a lot of the EDM guys, brought me on. Like, come on, bro.
Okay.
Come backstage. So on stage with Avicii was a very, very key moment.
You said the balcony was bouncing a foot?
The whole floor, the whole main floor
whole
was
main
bouncing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah, I was an intern there, 2013, and just been put on shows as a promoter. And now I do like in-house interviews and stuff there, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a good time with Beyond the Stage, and then they kind of blend native with it. It's all kind of like one world that I've kind of built up, and it's been a great time. It's under new ownership. Madison Theater is, so Frank is running the show there now. So it's pretty cool to have him because he ran the Mad Hatter back in the day.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Dang,
That's the same guy.
That's an old name drop there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that was my world. That was where I kind of grew up, kind of going through. I'm from Florence, though, so we're traveling to Covington was all about the music. I hitch a ride anytime I can at like 14, 15, and
Yeah, we
16.
didn't have cars back in the day.
Yeah,
Only one person had a car in the crew.
Right.
Only one.
Once I could drive, I was the one driving. But until then, I had to hitch a ride with like the guys. We hung out with the Devil's Prada and all these other younger bands, and then they blew up. And before you know it, that was our friends, and then we're all traveling for music. And
Yeah, it's cool when your friends blow up. That's why
Yeah.
you got to keep a lot of friends and check on people. You
Yeah,
you never
yeah.
know what they're gonna grow up.
You
to be.
never know. You never know. But we lost Daniel, drummer, and then Dave Shapiro, and the helicopter. I don't know if you heard about that,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, because Ocean Grid, we actually we interviewed with Dave Shapiro's for his record label. We got to travel out there and went to this little bar called Lock and Key.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, got there.
Lock and Key in L.A.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know it's right down the street in Koreatown.
Yep.
K-Town, baby. Shout out K-Town. I used to live walking distance from Lock and Key.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was interesting. The guy wouldn't tell us which door handle to get in when we got
Yeah,
there.
it's pretty dope little spot. At the end, I was like, dude, just show me, show me which one to the alcohol.
Yeah, just get me in there. But he wouldn't. And that's kind of like why it's kind of why I don't ever show people. I let people figure it out over time, but I'll let people walk because of the Lock and Key experience.
Lock and Key has some amazing cocktails, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Pineapple on fire coming to your table and stuff like that. So.
We drank sangria. So
Okay.
when we drink sangria here is kind of my
You
throwback
guys
to
like
that.
the sangria.
Yeah. That's where I drank it there with the meeting. Greg was with Greg Gonzalez. He doesn't drink, so it was just me and we were with this guy named Taylor, and he was asking questions, like interview with the band and all the stuff. Just me, because I had all the numbers and brought a resume and everything. And he's like, "You guys just don't have enough followers. You guys kind of like skip some steps getting here, man." Because our friends were all connected, so we were like, we hadn't traveled as much as they had, but we got in, and like he took the interview, and it was cool. But then he's like, "I need like 10 of these songs." And I owned a nonprofit called the Monsters Project, and he's like, "I'd love to purchase that and work with you on that." So I was willing to sell and go through that process of letting him take over. So we just came back to Cincinnati with lessons learned rather than any kind of deal. 5? Yeah, I heard. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. LA taught me, and that experience, I mean, I have a few different experiences out west. I grew up with my mother working for Delta, so we traveled a lot growing up and going to theme parks and different stuff that she wanted to see. Just drag little Andrew along, and I would go, and that was my life. But now, growing up, now we want to give the same experience to people, and we just have to be in Newport of all places, But
It's a good spot,
I love being here. Yeah.
I love your guys' store. Every time I'm in town, I gotta stop in and say what's up to my boy Jay.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. The second that I saw that you were in town, I'm like, let's podcast. You're like, let's do it. Give me a time.
And I love to see how it's evolved. And anybody that's doing something cool, especially in my hometown, anywhere, you have to support it. And so people out there, come down, buy a T-shirt, get on the podcast, come support however you can.
Yeah,
if these
bro.
businesses go away, that everything else just goes away.
That's
there's nothing fun to do.
That's the problem, bro. That's the problem, and the solution is right there. So if you guys do want to be a part of the podcast, we're interviewing everybody. If you got an interesting story, if you got an event coming up, if you want to be promoted, get a hold of me or Andrew or Kurt or Tyrell. We can get you on the podcast for sure.
Especially the entrepreneurs that are doing something. They're self-made, trying to make something happen. It's especially for people like us to help amplify your voice.
Absolutely, bro. I've got to ask you a question, man, because we were talking earlier. We were talking about like the nostalgia of old movies and how like they're not translating to the new stuff. And then halfway through the podcast, you keep talking about this happy place, right? So, like, I'm like, bro, I've got to ask you, like, I've got to, Happy Gilmore too. So, like, that's one of those things where, like, you're a videographer, you do documentaries and stuff like that. When it comes to that slapstick '90s comedies, bro, like Happy Gilmore, like, did you get a chance to see Happy Gilmore too?
Yeah, I actually loved it. A lot of mixed,
loved it, bro.
I loved it too. I thought it was great. I finished it. Yeah.
So your cousin was over here going, they either hate it or love it. There's no middle ground. and I 100% agree with what he said, bro, because it's like I hear people that are like, it's amazing. You know what I mean? And then I hear people going, oh, it's too outdated. And it's like, bro, like the whole like. What was the other movie? Tropic Thunder, bro. Oh, like movies like that.
I'll watch that anytime.
I will watch that once a week, bro. Like that one scene where they're just dropping him in the water. He's like, "Damien, cut!" I'll just yell that to my wife from across the room, bro. Like I'll be in the kitchen, she'll be watching TV, and I'm like, "Damien, cut!" And she just starts fucking busting out laughing, bro.
All right, well, I have a Happy Gilmore story.
Yeah, let's hear it.
To end off the podcast here. I used to live in downtown Los Angeles when I got out of the military, 2009. Had a 2-story loft, filming things, shooting things, and I used to hang out at this place named Cole's. It's a famous French dip place, and they make it's where I fell in love with old fashions and really high-end bartender type of cocktail place. And I was in there and I saw Christopher McDonald walk in, Shooter McGavin.
Shooter.
He had a smoker's jacket on with a smoker's jacket with a big like scarf looking thing.
Of course he did.
Everyone turned and just stared at him, and he walked by everybody at the bar, and there's this little half door because that's where the kegs go under the door. They slide him under there to go behind the bar.
Yeah.
And he just walked past all of us and put his head under there and looked under the door like that, and I was already cracking up laughing. Like, he didn't even say anything, and he was already so fucking funny. And I was like, I'm gonna ask him if he wants a drink. And I was like, yo, what's up, man? You want to do a drink? And he's like, let's do it. And so took back a couple old fashions with him, asked him if he wanted to come back to the place. Comes back to my place. I roll up a blunt. We smoke a blunt together. He passes out on my couch. in the middle of asking him questions about Happy Gilmore and his life, and then I didn't know what to do with him after he was sleeping for about like 45 minutes on my couch, and so I had to get him up, and
That's hilarious, dude.
One arm over me, carried him home, and he lived right in the Rowan, right around the corner from me on Spring Street, and me and him I took him to the burrito place, taco truck, right in front of his place, and me and him got a burrito, and we're just sitting there eating burritos together at 3 o'clock in the morning before I dropped him off on his doorstep. And that's my Happy Gilmore story. But the cool thing about it is, I asked him, like, if he ever worked with Adam again, and he basically said, like, I think he's mad at me. He never had me back in one of his movies, like all the other people that you see recurring. And so I was so happy to see him in Happy Gilmore 2, and then finally come full circle and him, back in the movie. So it was pretty epic to see. So
that is epic.
Shout out Christopher McDonald, but you're never coming hanging out at my house again.
And that's fire too, bro, because he's a I've seen that before, amazing. Where like he's been in interviews and people walk up to him and they want to talk to him, and and he's always given it like people are intimidated to walk up to him, and he always gives them the the like the stink eye, but then they'll say something, and he'll like give him oh, come on, man, I don't want to do that, and then they'll give him this weird look, and he goes, shooter. Shooter. Like he does it all the time, where he's like he likes throwing people off kilter, where like they think they're interrupting his moment when he just wants to play a little game where he's like, shooter.
Oh man, you should see R.I.P. Debo. But if you ever ask for a picture with Debo, he'll be standing next to you. Then all of a sudden, he just fucking grabs you by the neck and hard as fuck, and
like right when the picture's about to be taken. Oh man!
Basically, just fucking bases you in the back of the neck and scares the fuck out of people, and that's the picture.
Yeah.
So R.I.P. Debo.
R.I.P.
Right? Is his real name Tiny? Was that like
Zeus Lester?
Zeus Lester. That's it. Yeah, they called him Tiny when he was a kid because he was huge.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. All right, boys.
Well, where can they find you online to do a little research?
Yeah. So if you just Google Reality Center, not Reality Center, R-E-A-L-I-T-Y Center, you can find everything about us. Our website, our press, interviews, testimonials, anything. If you're ever on the West Coast, come in and see us. Use code NEW50 for $50 off your first session.
Hey, there you go.
We also have tools that can reach you at your home. So Intune is dropping soon. We are intune.io.
We are intune.io.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep, I think you can go get the free version right now.
Oh, that's cool.
So go check that out.
Let's do that. Yeah. Yep. Well, we appreciate you being on the podcast, man. It's been an honor getting to know you, and we thank you for your service. And you're just changing the world one day at a time, it seems like. And shout out to Shooter. Shout out to your experiences that led you here. And it's cool that you were into combat stuff. That's cool. I got a black belt in Taekwondo when I was younger, and then got into wrestling, but music took over. And so music kind of connects us as well. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, once again, music is the bridge.
Music is the bridge.
It always is.
It is, man. It really is. Yeah. But thank you so much for being.
No, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
All right, man. So if anybody wants to check out what you guys are doing on some sort of a soft level here in Cincy, so can they go to that house?
Yeah, Sweat House Contrast Therapy in Loveland. Shameless plug for Jamie Weeks, but go check it out. It's an entry level to, doing little things to help you center yourself, and really being centered is being present. And when you're present with yourself and the people around you, you'll have lower stress, lower anxiety. You'll be thinking more clearly.
And that's the biggest thing to take out of this, man. It's like when you've got so much stuff going on, when you've got punches coming from the left, punches coming from the right, and it's just like you're just trying to like clear the smoke. You just want to know what's going on. It's like there's so much drama happening. It's like it's really hard to clear your head and to get a clear vision on the next 3 steps. You know what I mean? And that might be one of the biggest issues with society is like we don't know how to take steps. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to be a millionaire, but it's like you've got to take steps to get there. It's like and it's not a home run. It's 3 steps every day. It's 3 steps into getting better at who you are, 3 steps at getting better to the person you are, 3 steps at being better to the people around you. And then once that happens, then you start seeing, man, I'm further along than what I thought.
Yeah, once you find something you love, you can really triple down on that. Finding something you love, triple down on it, and just go deep down that path and play your hits all day.
Play your hits.
Let's go. Play the hits, man.
Well,
That's a good way to wrap it up, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, everybody. So a big shout out to Jonathan Chia for being a part of the podcast today. He's here till Thursday. If you guys need to get a hold of him, we will tag some of his stuff below. But until the meantime, if you guys want to be a part of the podcast, if you guys want to sponsor, get a hold of us. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the PowWow.
We out, bro.
Hey. Jonathan Chia, Reality Center. So stoked that he was here today.
So dope. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
All right, man. Later, everybody. Love you guys.
Bye.